I actually think we are going to get, not obviously not this year, we're going to get Rock Roman. Like, I really feel like the Bloodline story, we said it from day one, is that it was custom made to finish with Rock and Roman. But, Bully, what do we always say? Rock Roman didn't need to be for a title. Right now, Roman Reigns is as far away from the title scene as he's been in, what, 12 years?
Storyline wise, on the debut of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, I saw The Rock put the Ula Fala on Roman's neck.
Yes.
Period. I don't know how you get away from it. Can you? Can you come up with some magical way? It's pro wrestling. Of course you can. It's like how we bring people back from the dead in the movies, or, Jason or Freddy or any of those things. I get it. But there seemed to be a very, very big period put on the end of that sentence. From a business point of view, Rock ain't doing a match unless Rock can set some kind of record. Rock and Roman has to do the biggest business that the WWE has ever seen before. Rock and Roman has to be the Andre and Hogan of a particular event. Rock likes those type of accolades. Rock likes to know that he went in and set a box office record or an attendance record. So where do they do that? Where can they do that?
It's interesting, Bully, because, and I'll just use this year's WrestleMania as an example. This year's WrestleMania example, attendance-wise, isn't going to be anything near what we've seen the last few years at WrestleMania. But they've already projected that this year's gate is going to be the biggest of all time. So, Bully, whenever they have that match, it's going to be the biggest gate in the history of WrestleMania.
Listen, if Rock and Roman headline WrestleMania at AT&T Stadium again, where you can put 100 and some odd thousand, okay, I get it. But what are they going to do? Main event night one of SummerSlam? You're still doing what? Tops 75,000 people? You can do 75,000 people without Rock and Roman main eventing.
I think, and I also feel like the clock is ticking too on The Rock, because I think he's making that transition of being outside the ring. I feel like you got to pull the trigger, and you got to pull the trigger soon. We all expected this to end with Rock and Roman. Yes, you're right about what we saw on the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix. But I think the key was to get the championship off of Roman Reigns. And they've done that. Roman is not involved in the World Heavyweight Championship picture, and Roman is not involved in the Undisputed Championship picture. Like, I think there's a way to go back there where The Rock can say to Roman, you know what? You're no longer the tribal chief, because Roman no longer has that championship, and who knows what's going to happen in the main event come this weekend. He may lose that match. He may lose Paul Heyman. So there might be a point saying where Rock says to Roman, you've lost the championship, you consistently lose the main event at WrestleMania, and you've lost the wise man. And, look at the disarray of the bloodline right now. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fott. There is a way that Rock can circle back and say, listen, you're no longer the tribal chief.
Ooh.
And the way you do
and make that important. Don't make it about the title. Make it about the power of the family.
And I believe the way you can do that is, if Roman were to lose, and if Roman were at WrestleMania, and Roman were to lose his wise man, Rock can always confront Roman and say, I was wrong. You are not who I thought you were.
Ooh.
You're not the head of the table. You're not the tribal chief. So I want my Ula Fala back. And Roman doesn't give it to him. And the next week, the next month, whatever it is, the entire bloodline sides with The Rock. And The Rock has the entire bloodline unified once again, destroy Roman Reigns. And when Roman Reigns is laid out a bloody mess, a la what Rock did to Cody in the ring, That's when you see Rock reach down and remove the Ulafala from Roman's neck. And now you have Roman against the entire bloodline, all by himself, with the bloodline being led by The Rock.
And try, but you got to make The Rock take the family back by force.
Yes. And then the final boss really becomes the final boss, in which Roman now has to go through Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa and Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu and anybody else associated with them before he finally gets to The Rock. Can you do it that way? Sure. But The Rock has to say, I was wrong. You're not the guy. You're not the, you will never, you can never fill fill the boots of the high chief Peter Maivia. You are nowhere near what your father was, and you sure as hell ain't me. Give me my Ulafala back.
Hey, and you know what? Just to throw the gravy on the potatoes, he could always just, do you like working here? Or do you want to go work for one of these other wrestling companies? And then just threaten everybody in the bloodline to throw them out all the time. Oh my gosh.
And you know, it's interesting, Mark. I always tell you guys the story about how Vince McMahon told me that Roman was the guy that was putting food on our table for the next 10 years. And Rock could even say, and this has nothing to do with me, you know, back in the day, you were the chosen one. Vince chose you. Vince said you were the guy that would put food on all of our tables for the next 10 years. Well, Roman, your 10 years is up.
And you know what? I feel like, and what they've also been able to do is, don't forget, last year at this time, Roman Reigns was the heel going into WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I mean, Cody Rhodes was the baby. What they've done over the last year is make Roman one of the most popular wrestlers in the WWE. So, and Rock is the most despised figure right now in the WWE. So, we could get to a point where Rock really does dominate everything in the WWE and wants that back from Roman Reigns because he's no longer the head of the table. And Bully, when you pull the trigger on that, I don't know. I mean, we never thought the Bloodline story would go as long as it did, but it did. So who knows when you pull the trigger on Rock Roman? But the clock is ticking on The Rock. He's making that transition from out of the ring to being behind the desk.
From what I understand from extremely reliable sources, I'm not talking about dirt sheets, I'm talking about people who were actually involved with this. It took a lot to get Rock ready for that tag match in Philadelphia, because Rock wanted to be the version of The Rock that the people remembered him to be. And it wasn't easy for him just to get into that ring shape mentally and physically for a tag match. And that's totally fine. That's not a knock on The Rock. That just is what it is. Now, we're a year later at this WrestleMania, he's not going to be involved. So are we to say next year? You're right. Time is ticking on The Rock. Yes, Mark.
Dwayne trains anaerobically though. He trains with weights, heavy weights. He's thickening the muscle, which is completely against what wrestling is. He's going to have to start the condition differently, whole body exercising, conditioning, stair climbing, getting in the ring, running the ropes, continental spots for 20 minutes. Up, down, run. Like, he's not doing that.
And Mark, when you got $1 gazillion in the bank and you're carrying all that muscle and you look as good as you do and you're the biggest star in the WWE and in Hollywood, you go to practice in front of those 4 cold walls and you take those first couple of bumps and you're like, screw this. I don't need to.
And I think that Dwayne has I always say bigorexia.
Right.
But it's a form of body dysmorphia. He just has to be big. He wants to look bigger than everybody. He sees the bodybuilders and he goes, "Oh, I got to get my delt to look like that." He's one of those people.
Yep.
So, like, he doesn't want to lose weight. And when you get in the ring and you start bumping, what's the first thing that's going to happen? He's going to drop about 15 pounds. Just like that. Just like that, really fast. And then you're going to have to maintain it. And the way that he eats and stuff, he don't eat a lot of oil and fat and stuff and sweets and sugars. I mean, he'll have his pancakes with the bananas and cinnamon, but that's one thing a week. He's not eating like that every day. He's gonna, like, your body will crave other things when you start to train like we train and do. You start to pacify the body because of the pain that it's in. Like you use the endorphins of food. That's why so many wrestlers get caught on drugs, because they want to mask the pain. It's fucking hard and it hurts. I can punch myself and make myself bleed right now.
I dare you to do it. I dare you.
Don't do it.
I
Don't
dare
do
you.
it.
Triple dog dare you to
I'm
make
not
yourself
going to
bleed
do
right
it.
now.
I'm not. Hey,
Stick a Dorito in your head and get color.
Double dog dares don't work on me.
Get color with a
But
Dorito.
that's the nature of a wrestler. And then to go and pacify, you put a Band-Aid, butterflies on it, and you put some ice on it, and you're drinking a beer. You're take a shot of Jack, Terramana, or whatever. You start to self-medicate. This business ain't for everybody. Dwayne, I don't know if he wants to do that no more.
But you could, you only need, first of all, we only need The Rock for one more match. We want him in the ring with Roman. It could be, here's the thing, it could be a tribal rules match where most of it's outside. You can it doesn't have
Dave,
to.
it doesn't matter. Why is he coming
Still
back?
gotta train.
That's true, Dave. No matter what you do, even a walk it and talk it match, with as much muscle as Rocky is carrying, you will blow up.
You will blow up.
But Dave, what's the point of his coming back for one more match if that one more match can't be the match of all matches that tops every other match business-wise? What does he have to gain?
Is this all going back to you because of what we saw in that first episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix?
At Raw Netflix, there was a period. Then we just came up with an idea and a suggestion that sounded pretty good about how they could get out of it and get to a match with Roman, where Roman, much like a traditional video game, okay, has to go through every single underboss before he gets to the final boss. And that final boss will fight Roman at which stadium on what day that will set box office records in wrestling that can't be broke, because that's what Rock wants to be associated with. And I get it. I can respect that. If I'm going to do something, it's like people always talk about Edge, Christian, and the Dudleys with TLC. One more time, one more time. No, screw you, one more time. We can't top what we did. And if we can't top what we did, then I don't want to do it anymore, nor do the other guys. So if Rock can't top what he's already done, why do it?
Because I think The Rock, more than anybody else that you're mentioning, Bully, is going to be a part of this company moving forward. Like, so whatever.
But why does he have to have a match?
For the end of this bloodline, I think you really need to have Rock Roman as the explanation point, and because it's Solo. I don't know.
But then Roman has to win and Rock has to go away forever. And I don't think Rock wants to go away forever. I think Rock wants to be available to plug himself in whenever he feels like getting a hit of pro wrestling.
So you don't think we're ever getting that match? In your estimation, are we ever going to get Rock Roman?
You can't say yes or no to that. I'm saying you will get the match if it is big enough business in a big enough stadium.